that is quite critical. ABC say about the election, and we will look at what he said. We'll look at the preparation of OISEC for this particular election. One thing that the APC said yesterday that I saw said LG poll, Makinde is out to waste scarce resources, mess up democracy, or your APC. We'll look at their thoughts, engage the OISEC chairman on the matter today as we take a look at the program. So APC said in that release that Oyo State APC alleged that Governor Makinde and the leadership of the Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, were out to waste the scarce resources and also make a mockery of democracy and the rule of law with their plans to go ahead with the conduct of the local government elections slated for this Saturday without the APC and other registered political parties. I was trying to look at the two, and I hope that my colleague will be able to engage it. The title of that release was Makinde is out to waste scarce resources. But by excluding APC, they feel that this money will be wasted. But if the APC is involved in the election, would the money not have been wasted after all? That's a logic that you can think about. You watch out for that. So we'll be engaging the OISEC chairman. We hope that he will join us soon on the program. Right. Again, we'll also take a look at some snippet of issues that have been happening around us in a while in Nigeria today. I put on Facebook, I showed Michael before we came on microphone, the Olympic governor is dangling his broom, at the moment. If you understand that statement, you get to understand more about it as we move on the program today. Kaduna State is in the eye of the storm. RFI has been a topic for discussion. I also want my colleague to also respond to that as well. The AGF made a startling statement yesterday. We'll also want to examine that before we engage with the OISEC chair. So, once again, welcome. I'm Oluwaseun. Michael Olatunbosun is here. Hello, Michael.
Good afternoon, or good evening to everybody. Good evening, Tunde and Akinola. Good evening to everybody. And it's good to, talk about, events and, things happening around the country, particularly at your state. Always a good time.
Great. And Tunde Olawuwo is here. Hi, Tunde.
Hello, Sean. Good evening. Good evening to Michael, to everybody, and of course to our listener out there. It's my pleasure to be here.
Welcome. So let's start with the Kaduna State. The imbroglio between the governor, the NLC, the thugs, the declaration of the NLC chair, president as like a fugitive. While I was listening to RFI 2 days back, when he was being interviewed by journalists on the progress, he said that we're looking for him. Anybody that found him, they should report in the police station. We're going to prosecute him. He's an economic saboteur. It feels like I was listening to someone who is autocratic.
Oh, so
Michael.
Yeah, you just used the word autocratic, and many of our leaders in this part of the world, not just basically in Nigeria, but basically in Africa, look at themselves as lords, and that's it.
Some people say that that's the kind of leader that we need in Nigeria, a decisive leader who can take difficult decisions.
Yeah, a decisive leader can take difficult decisions, but it does not necessarily have to be an autocrat. It does not have to be a dictator. It's just about knowing what you want and going for it. So when people are inconsistent, by the way, you know that this man has been very inconsistent. At some point, he called himself an activist. At some point, he joined with people who were protesting against the previous administration, called the previous president Goodluck Jonathan all sorts of names. This was the same man who was saying that Goodluck Jonathan should do anything, including everything, to rescue the Chibok girls. And here is the man who, in 2020, just a few years down the line, saying that you will not negotiate with terrorists, will not pay ransom, and the rest of it. So he's a catalog He himself, El-Rufai, is a catalogue of inconsistency. That's the way I like to describe him. So his new mindset is not new. You see, the typical person is always very naive, very innocent, without power. When you give the most gentle human being in Africa, when you give them power, you know them. So I'm not surprised that Yoruba people always say that someone's character is not yet known until he attains power or money. That's when you know.
Few issues before I come to Tunde. Few issues. First of the issues is that El-Rufai is saying that his government will be spending about 90% of its federal allocation to pay salaries.
On overheads, yes.
And the overhead. You think he had no merit to his argument?
Yeah, the argument has merit. We've always said it. We've said it right from the beginning that the bureaucracy that we put in place in Nigeria is not sustainable. Not even now that we are running out of cash.
That's cash resources. Exactly.
He has a beautiful argument, but you can destroy a beautiful argument by your methodology. He's going about this thing in the wrong way.
How should he have gone about it?
The way he should have gone about it is communication, is dialogue. I've always said it. See, if you put people together in the room and tell them, guys, this is what we expend on paying salaries every month. This is the situation. Look at our balance sheets. What do you guys think? See, there was a guy who tweeted something on Twitter last year when coronavirus started and we were shutting down everywhere. He said that he called his workers and told them, guys, this is what is going on. This is what is happening.
I will pay you for this month.
I will pay you for this month, next month, and all that. It was even the staff, the workers,
the
percentages of salary cut. You see, the problem is that these people don't communicate. If you communicate, labor themselves will say, "Oga, we understand the situation. Why don't you let us do it this way?"
I hope the fellow that Michael referenced as a union.
He doesn't have a union. He doesn't have. But today, the way I'm going to ask you this question, because it's just a question I want to ask you, and then we'll come to the issue of Kaduna properly. I saw a tweet earlier today that says that a combination of El-Rufai and Tunde will be very good for 2023. But what I want to ask you is simple. What if we just wake up tomorrow and El-Rufai is the president?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Somebody said I will slip back.
This is a rather tough one. I mean, he's a two-term governor now, because he's going to complete his second term in office by 2023. He's a former minister. So if you generally look at the trajectory that politicians in Nigeria follow, you know that the next thing for him will be to attempt to be president. And I'm sure he considers himself a very popular figure, especially from the northern part of the country.
And so he's eminently qualified.
Yes, and he's eminently qualified. So I'm very sure that deep down within the El-Rufai family and his political setup, it's going to be one of the things they'll be discussing as a potential presidential candidate or vice presidential candidate, a running mate in 2023. But if you ask for my opinion, him as president or as vice president?
As president.
I hope he won't make us to miss President Muhammadu Buhari if we are very fine.
What are you saying? What is Tunde suggesting, really?
To look back to say, I wish we still have President Muhammadu Buhari.
Tunde,
I don't understand that.
I don't understand.
I do not even understand it. I don't think I want to unravel it.
Where are you driving at now?
Okay, now today let's come to the issue now. There is an issue.
It's still a long time.
There's the issue of Labour and El-Rufai. El-Rufai declared him, more like a fugitive.
Yes, wanted,
and even played handsome reward over his head. How do you describe such a declaration?
Okay, the interesting thing is that
it also said bounty.
Yes, I mean, which shows that the Kaduna State government is not broke after all. Because if you have enough, left over to pay And a lot of people were dropping locations that, okay, I know where the NSC president is. How do I claim my
handsome reward?
I think Nigerian politicians, there's something they've mastered. The art of, saying what they don't mean. Maybe because they know that we easily forget, or because we don't, reference those things. Even though that is changing, especially in this day and age of social media, where you can always get your receipt, in quotes now, whether it's 5 years or 7 years. And if you've been very active, especially on Twitter, Governor Nasir El-Rufai is one person whose past statements and write-ups have come back to haunt him like no other politician. I don't think he meant that statement. This is not me trying to defend him, but I think it was just one of those statements that you just alter. Maybe he was trying to bluff or something, but the truth is, going to what Michael said earlier, I think Governor Nasir El-Rufai has shown that in spite of his well-documented brilliance as an administrator, which I can also attest to, he lacks that temperament. Because you see, as a leader, you are supposed to be a totality of so many things. Yes, you're not supposed to be perfect, but you need to combine so many factors. He lacks the temperament that you want in a leader, meaning that the part of him that is destructive, in my own estimation, actually outweighs the positive side of him.
Okay,
that is my assessment of it.
That's one side. The other side of this argument is spending so much to run the civil service. Shouldn't we be thinking critically about this part?
I think we should. And, frankly speaking, it's a problem that almost all the states in Nigeria, as we speak, are actually dealing with. They more or less have over-bloated civil service system. But then again, as sometimes we colorfully describe the governors that they are CEOs and they're supposed to think in that way. What do CEOs do? They manage the assets and the liabilities of the organization. In this instance, their state. The only unfortunate part is that, unlike most CEOs in the private sector, these ones cannot wake up to say, well, this is no longer sustainable. I'm firing 50% of my workforce. Because you have the labor to contend with on one side, and of course, public opinion on the other hand. That is why you have to lead by example. You need to be very transparent. Michael said something and I agree with him. You need from day one to be very transparent. They can't, you see, it is illogical to see you on one hand spending like you have no problem of cash, and on the other hand saying, well, we are broke, so some people need to sacrifice. Nobody is going to accept that. There is no state governor in Nigeria today that if we x-ray their appointments, their spendings, you will not see, serious and highly ridiculous element of please borrow me the words.
Lavish spending.
Lavish spending.
Yeah.
Okay. So the workers, they see these things. Now, we are just coming off, that is, if I'm even allowed to say that, the back of COVID-19 induced economic depression for individuals, coupled with, the hugely expensive cost of living. It's almost going to be indefensible to wake up to say, I'm firing 4,000, I'm sacking 7,000. So it means that as the CEO of the state, you have a duty to generate more funds for the state, grow the IGR of your state. That's number one. Number two is make the civil servant productive. We have these civil servants, and then every now and then we go hire consultants. So you're paying the civil servants on one hand, you're paying the consultants on the other hand for what the civil servants can do.
Why do they even need advisors?
So make them, because the civil servants are professionals too, technocrats.
Yes.
Make them productive so that at least they can earn their pay.
Okay, Michael,
it's difficult, but
I'm coming to you. It's a decisive decision that everybody should make. We need to run a productive economy, as it were. But listen to a confession here. It's from El-Rufai himself.
I said leaders must be checked. Absolute power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So leaders must be checked. It is in their own interest to create a system that they are checked. Okay, if they are not checked, even good people become bad people. I have seen that transformation. I know many people that I've worked with, that I've interacted with, that were really good when we worked together. Some of them have become governors and ministers, and they have become monsters because there is no check and balance. Leaders must be checked throughout history. So it is not just the leader. The people must be able to speak out. The people must complain. The elites must come and say, this is not acceptable. But in this country, we have a conspiracy of silence by the elites. Everybody just keeps quiet because everybody is just waiting for his turn. And it is not taking us anywhere. We are all going to be consumed by this crisis. This keg of gunpowder that we're sitting on, in which 75% of the population is below the age of 35, they have no jobs, no hope, and they have not seen a country that ever functioned.
Michael is the worst person I will ask this question. I will still ask him. Because you said that he's been very inconsistent. He said people should complain.
Exactly.
He said leaders should be checked.
Yes.
He said we should not keep quiet.
Yes.
People came out to protest. I was wondering if it is possible that they will sack that number of people and people will not say anything. They will just smile back home and be happy
ever after.
Yes, So mass hysteria was supposed to be to follow this kind of a thing.
Exactly.
When you do it. So my thought is this, before we come to even what he said, look, when they were thinking about sacking these people in the boardroom, when they were thinking about it, ruminating over it and making that decision, did they simulate the reaction of the people to this, or they didn't care?
You see, the people in government don't understand what you mean by simulation, and they don't even understand what you mean by consequences. You see, as students of research, we are usually told that whatever decisions or management, whatever decisions you are going to be taking, you need to advance your mind to the future and ask the question: if we take this step, what is the likely consequence? And speak to advisors. These governors have, they have buckets or baskets of advisors. I was wondering what did they do. So they should ask the question. In fact, if governors are going to take a decision like this in November, they should start, doing what you call pulse feeling. They should send people out, speak to people and ask, and just ask the people, you just, casually, what if they sack you today? What will you do? No, of course, like we agreed, there's logic to the need to decongest the civil service. There's logic to it. But the point is that you have to engage them. Let them make the choices themselves. So you might
I'm still thinking, how do you want to tell someone that you are losing your job?
You see, you have to prepare the people for the consequences that is to come. So if we retain you guys, if we retain all of you, see, maybe they can do segmentation. They can say, okay, how many people have spent 25 years in service? How many people have spent 15 years? So what do we do with them? You see, they have to be transitions.
And as a chairman,
to quickly add, one way to prepare people for this kind of situation is financial literacy. I know we do this a lot in the private sector, but I'm not sure much of it is done in the government sector. So you find that people who are in the public sector, all they are thinking about is to work for 35 years. Some, if it is possible, to doctor their age so that they can work for 40 years. But if you check in other climes, especially maybe in the Western world, let's use the US or UK, you find the 40-year-olds that will say,
I'm retired.
I'm a retired nurse. I'm a retired, military officer. I'm not sure we see that a lot here, that somebody at 38 will say, I'm retired. Everybody, especially those in the public sector, believe that they need to work for 35 years, that the
mandatory
civil service rules allow them for. And we are now seeing that government is also dealing with uncertain and unpredictable economic variables, meaning that at some point in time they may have to make tough decisions. So you need to prepare the people, not just in telling them that, you will lose your job tomorrow, but by providing financial training for them so that they can be able to, divest.
Okay, because one thing that the president of the NLC said was that if you are laying them off, as you give them the letter of disengagement, you give them the check.
You have to pay them.
Give them the check. That if you don't do that, what's the point? This is a situation where we have over 33.3% unemployed in the market already.
So you want to offload some already.
Underemployed, and then you want to add to that that figure, and increase it. Anyway, that's one issue that we'll continue to engage. We want to go for a break. When we come back, we will be speaking Olympotic. Stay with us.
Splash FM 105.5.
And the winners for the Indomie Eat and Win promo are Mrs. Obi and Davy.
Yes, Mommy, we won! We won!
Yes, we won!
David, you still haven't told me how you won. It's simple, John. With Indomie Eat and Win.
Indomie Eat and Win?
Yes! Just buy 10 Indomitables pack, find a unique code at the back of the pack, go to www.indomitables.ng and enter your code to win amazing prizes every week and a star prize of 100,000 Naira.
Wow!
Let me go and get my Indomie now.
Next time you're shopping for quality margarine, choose the one that's perfect for so many types of meals and has great value too. Choose Devon King's Margarine. Devon King's Margarine is available in stores and retail outlets near you. Choose unbeatable value. Choose Devon King's Margarine.
Scalpels, check. Forceps, check. Scissors, check. Retractors, check. Clamps, check. All right, then I guess we're ready for this operation. Health check on Splash 105.5 FM. Join us every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Having good health is number one on our checklist.
Àkókò ìjà tó bá ń bá rèjì tá àti retí ń lọ kó sókàn báyìí o kì í sí ibú yẹn láàrin jù bá náà lọ. Ó mà ṣe o ẹ̀wù bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń kú bí ojú pì ẹ̀ṣẹ́ àgbáwọlé lọ́tún lọ́sí. Ó dilẹ̀ gbága yìí ó ṣubú yàtàtà ó fìdí rẹ̀ ní ìjà parí o kò sógun mọ́ kò sọ́tẹ̀ mọ́ àlùbámí ni Bosca tún borí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Gba ìtura kíá kúrò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀fọ́rí ìrora àti òtútù pẹ̀lú Bosca. Bosca ń gba ẹ̀fọ́rí ìrora àti òtútù lágbàwọlé ní kíákíá. Bí àyípadà kò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta lọ rí dókítà.
Ìgbádùn èso ápùlù ohun mímu inú làkàsẹ́rà ìgbádùn tí ò lábùlà adùn rẹ̀ yàtọ̀ gedegbe àwọ̀ rẹ̀ sì tún fanimọ́ra jẹ̀gbádùn aláìláfiwé nínú ohun mímu làkàsẹ́rà ó yàtọ̀ mò ń gbádùn ẹ̀ gan-an ni o.
Iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná a máa fúnni ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ a sì máa mú ìdẹ̀rùn wá láti wá dènà ìjàmbá iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná ojúlówó wáyà tàbí kébù ló yẹ ká fi fa iná nínú ilé lọ́fíìsì àti nínú ìlú Purchem wires and cables ní àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ mọ̀nàmọ́ná àti àwọn agbaṣẹ́ṣe yàn láàyò ojúlówó ni kì í bó lára kò kì í jóná àbájì kì í kán sínú ó sì fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀ ìdí nìyí tí Standard Organization of Nigeria fi fòǹtẹ̀tẹ̀ tí Nigeria Electrical Contractors náà fi dìbò fún bí copper cable ṣe wà ní aluminium cable ń bẹ nípele lówó tí kò gún pa Purchem wires and cables tó jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Kaman ló ń ṣe ojúlówó wires and cable jáde. Olú iléeṣẹ́ Pure Wires and Cables Limited wà ní Afrin's Compound, 4th Gate, number 122/132, Oṣòdì Apapa Expressway, Ìyànà Ìsọlọ̀ bus stop, Lagos. Ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ní 080-803-03257. Pure Wires and Cables. Ìrọ̀rùn fi iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná.
Yes, mommy. Go and bring 2 sachets of hypo bleach for me.
Why 2?
Because I'm using one to soak the whites and using one to kill all the germs.
But I can't see any germs here.
They are so tiny you can't see them, but they are there, and that is why I trust only hypo bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of hypo bleach.
Enter the place and it brighten. Make everybody they wonder. Waiting because of the shine. Lush hair, lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair, lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. You wonder how I shine like this. I'm on a lush hair, be the coco. Say you want to know. And if you wanna be fine like me, I can show you where to go. A lush hair, be the coco.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
Oh my hair gonna for you. Hello?
Casey, baby, how far now? Sure you go free this Sunday. I won't spoil person picking.
Hey, which Sunday?
This one now.
I know day.
The Sunday after I'm come.
Every Sunday, I no go free.
Waiting happen.
You mean say you don't know? New season of Nigerian Idol don't land.
Yes, sir. Nigerian Idol don't land. Better singing competition with talent wey sabi and plenty drama from the judges. On I go fit watch weekly shows from March 28th and every Sunday for Africa Magic Channel 2 by 7 p.m. sharp. So run, recharge your GoTV subscription on top my GoTV app or USSD *288# to enjoy yourself. Now Techno Mobile and Biggie Drinks bring on this season of Nigerian Idol. GoTV, love it.
We've been trying to source funding to make sure we're able to quickly respond to the emergency.
Nigeria's economic situation is dire, with headline inflation at 18.17%. Government says it is doing everything it can to better the lives of Nigerians. However, many more continue to fall below the poverty line. This week on Economic Searchlight, join Oluwaseun Akinola as he engages the British Deputy High Commissioner, Mr. Ben Llewellyn-Jones, on issues relating to poverty reduction, economic growth, human rights, and building back better from COVID-19. This Friday, May 21st, 2021 at 11 a.m. exclusive on Splash 105.5 FM. You don't want to miss this.
Protein breakfast àṣírí ibẹ̀ nìyẹn. Bí ìyá mi máa ṣe ń jí láfẹ̀mọ́jú, wọ́n á ṣe oúnjẹ fún wa kí wọ́n tó sáré lọ sí ibi iṣẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà. Bàbá wa máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ dalẹ́. Wọ́n sì tún jí lówùúrọ̀ láti gbé mi lọ sí ilé ẹ̀kọ́. Kò wá sí bó ṣe lè di gádígádí tó. Kì í rìn wọ́n láti máa bá mi ṣeré. Ìdí ìrètí wọn kì í kúrò nílé láì jẹ big protein breakfast.
Bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọjọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ tó kún fún big protein amárata kébé.
Peak, reach for your peak. Splash FM 105.5.
being there with us on Splash 105.5 FM. It's your integrity station, and we're glad that you could be there with us on this frequency of choice, Splash 105.5. It's Splash Rendezvous, and we're happy that you're there. We've been discussing the issue of engaging the civil service and see how they could understand the reality on ground. Tunde Onokoya is on the line. Hello, Tunde, if you're there, I'd like you to share your thoughts on how we can engage the civil servants, breaking this kind of news to them.
Saying that, you know what? Engagement is the word we're using here. Well, if we're looking at it from the perspective of crisis control only, you don't use that as, and you call it engagement. That is you wanting to do damage control at that point in time. Government needs to understand that engagement is core to whatever it is they are doing. If we are used to civil society organizations, looking at some NGOs and the rest, you will look at it and you will see how much of their budget and their time goes into engagement of people. So if government says, I want to engage, you don't only engage them when there is crisis. Engagement should start from them understanding government policies and government decisions, even before there is a crisis. So how do you engage civil servants only at the point where they are likely to lose their jobs? When you are not engaging them at the point that you came into office and you want to explain the policies of your government that they are expected to implement and deliver on to them. You didn't engage them at that point in time. You didn't engage them at the point you were getting your special assistants, special advisors, to make them understand what the role of these special assistants and special advisors will be in relations to the civil servants themselves. So the civil servants see that you are there, there's a disconnect. The governor is doing whatever it is he likes. The governor gives us directive and we just follow it without being properly engaged. So you now want to come back and engage them at the time when they are losing their jobs. I don't think it's going to work, because at that point in time, the government tries to, the civil servants will smell the rat. Of course, there's a rat there. They will smell it, and it will still be as chaotic as it is right now. In fact, probably it will be worse, because at that point, there will be preemptive strike. In fact, there can even be a down tool at work strike and all of that. So we need to understand that engagement is not only supposed to be during crisis. Engagement should be a continuous process, and it's the duty of government to engage everybody, including especially the civil servants, to understand the policy of government. That's my take.
Today, could you make a comment about the way El-Rufai handled this situation?
Well, the thing is that Governor Nasir El-Rufai has always shown that he can be very high-handed. He has that tendency. I think he's one of those governors you know in Nigeria to probably have a very short fuse. Any slight thing that inconveniences him, he reacts. He's a very reactive governor. Oftentimes, he's not proactive, which suggests that he probably doesn't think things through and get advice before he does them. The way he's gone about it now is more like how a dictator will go about things, with a total crackdown. He's cracking down on people that are protesting. I use the word legitimately. These guys have fears. You are not allaying their fears. These guys have issues. You are not engaging them. What you are doing is cracking down on them. I think he could do better. For somebody who has gone to Harvard, for somebody who has gone to study out of the country, I expect him to be a lot more refined with the way he deals with things, not the God complex he currently displays, especially when it comes to managing people. Governor Nasir El-Rufai is not better than everybody in Kaduna State. He's just been privileged to be in that position. And he needs to understand that, especially when he's engaging people. I think he can do better. I think he should do better. One of these days, he will have to eat that humble pie. And I hope it won't be too late.
Thank you, Tunde.
Thank you.
We most appreciate your comments on this one. Have a wonderful evening.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Good job.
Yeah, that was Tunde Onokoya there. One of us on this table, only that he's not here physically. So we will move to, I actually said we're going to look at the Olympic. Maybe that will be done after the 6 p.m. news. We'll go into all of that. I'll still also want us to talk about the AGF statement concerning the ban on open grazing, and also we get people to be part of our conversation today. All right, so wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being there. We're back on the beat, and we want to engage the issue of the local government election in Oyo State. So we have Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission representative in this place. Let's say that the chairman of OISEC is not here. He has sent a representative to us, Comrade Babatunde Adeniyi, Electoral Commissioner, Voter Education and Publicity, Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here. Great. So let's start the discussion. We want to look at the election as it's coming up this Saturday, and also the issues that have arisen concerning the election. The good question to ask you is, how prepared are you? And I'm sure you are prepared. You're ready for the election. It's obvious that we can see all that you have been doing.
Yeah.
But let's be specific about this election. What have you done to avert voter apathy? I want to know, because I know that for experience that taught me that we usually have low turnout. So have you done anything concrete to be sure that you're going to have a better turnout of this election on Saturday?
Thank you very much. Permit me to, first of all, seize this opportunity to appreciate the management of this great station. I think we started our engagement because you have been discussing engagement, and it's all about engagement. Solving problems will require engaging different stakeholders. I think when we came in last September, what you've just said now, apathy, that was the very first thing that we identified as the problem, the major problem that holding, conducting, organizing local government election that is being faced. And we quickly identified various ways of solving it, of reducing it. Then we were here. The management of this great station hosted us. They promised to assist us. I think they've done greatly well in that respect. And I think we must seize this opportunity to appreciate them. And not only them, other media outfits also in the state, both electronic and print. They've also done greatly well in assisting us, in engaging all the stakeholders. You see, as one of the electoral management body that we have, especially the body that is saddled with responsibility of conducting local government election, which will be peaceful, credible, fair, and free, and in which we have more participation. We've done a lot as regard that, and we want to believe that from what we have done, from a lot of awareness creation, engaging all the stakeholders, holding community meetings, we want to believe that come this Saturday, that the apathy that usually characterize local government election, previous one that I've had, will be greatly reduced.
Is the commission aware that Oyo APC sued the commission and the governor of Oyo State?
No, we are not aware.
You didn't have any knowledge of that?
No. When was that?
Today.
No, we haven't been communicated.
Michael.
Yeah, so that story that you talked about is in, this is Premium Times of today, May 20th, 2021, and said that, well, I understand, the issues about communication. You just said that they've not been communicated, so we can understand that. Okay, so you talked about the fact that OISEC has engaged in order to really solve the problem of voter apathy and the rest of it. For me, I want to talk about the specifics of conducting the election itself. Number one, how much or how many ad hoc staff have you got to prosecute this election? And then number two, this is just about 48 hours to the election. What are the, the usual thing when we are doing general election is we have, non-sensitive materials have gone this way and the rest of it. In terms of that template.
Preparation.
Yeah, what's on the table?
Yeah, we are good to go. We've done greatly well in the respect of preparation for this election, because we are very determined to change the narrative. It's a pity that one of the party out of the 18 political parties that we have that are active, that we are told that are active, that INEC or your state handed the list to us, will not be participating. Out of 18, 17 are participating. As I'm talking to you here, only one is has not shown interest, because it is
only one has not shown interest.
Yeah,
which one?
APC that you just mentioned.
APC has not shown interest.
And in spite of our engagement, in spite of everything that we have done to change the narrative, the narrative has to be changed for us to have a great state, for us to have a great nation. And when we came in, that was our determination. And we went for it. We visited all the critical stakeholders, the political parties, everybody. We engaged them, we discussed. Together, we identify the problems. And we are also able to come up with how to solve the problems. And here we are today. But I can authoritatively tell you now that we are good to go. All the non-sensitive, non-security materials have been deployed. Sensitive, we move in tomorrow. Security, very tight. Since yesterday, we are still hoping to ensure that the election on Saturday will be free, fair, and people will be able to come out and exercise their franchise without any fear of victimization or molestation.
What exactly are the questions around one party abstaining from the election? What exactly are the issues? Is it about the fact that they don't have candidates, or is it about the fact that their documentations have not been submitted? What exactly are the issues?
You see, election is a process, and as OCEC, as one of the election management bodies, our major function is to provide enabling environment, to start the process, to ensure that the process is transparent. It is the decision of the political parties to decide whether they want to participate or not to participate. But our own is to ensure that everything that will make the process to be fair, to be transparent, is put on the table, and that situation is provided, so that all the political parties, they will be ready to participate in the process. And that was what we have done.
But I have an issue. You said one political party has not shown interest.
Yeah.
But this same political party you mentioned asked OICEC to postpone this election after that judgment.
No. We have 18 political parties, and all of them. You see, there is one thing.
Did they request for the postponement?
Let me tell you this.
Did they request for the postponement?
Let me tell you this.
I want to know if they requested for the postponement.
They wrote to us. They pleaded.
OICEC saw the letter.
Yeah, they brought a letter to us.
And you received the letter?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. But that's not it. It is more than that. Honestly speaking, I've told you, election is a process. And injustice commences the day you start treating equal people unequally, or the day unequal people or unequal parties have been treated equally. And it's election management body that knows its onions. We've done everything that we're supposed to do. And when you say something is a process, it means it has steps, it has stages, which has to be followed strictly for to go against the law of the land. And that was what we have done. When we started, we visited all the political parties at their headquarters. We discussed. All of them promised us that what they are hearing from us, the way they see us, that they believe that maybe together we can change the narrative. And even up to last month, almost all of them attended all the meetings that they were invited to in our office. But
in the APC?
Yeah, they are representative. So, but the decision not to participate is strictly theirs. And I told you, as election management body, our major role is to provide enabling environment for the election. That all the parties will see to be transparent, which will allow them to.
Tunde will ask you the question, but before it goes on, this one is a simple question. Is it true that APC is on the ballot paper?
Definitely, because we are anticipating that all the political parties will participate in the election, and we don't want to exclude anybody. We didn't plan to exclude anybody. So that's the reason when we are printing our ballot paper, we ensure, since INEC handed down to us the list of 18 political parties in the state, we ensure that we put all of them in the ballot paper, because we are expecting that all of them will participate.
Isn't your choice of the word anticipation a trouble word? Because you cannot anticipate, that a party will participate in an election when the party has not said we want to participate.
Election is a process. I've told you. When you have to work with what you have, and you have to ensure and hope for the best. The best is when OSEC, as election management body, comes in like this. Since we are not the one that is saddled with responsibility of registering political parties, we have to liaise with INEC. How many parties are active in that state? When the list is handed over to you, then you have to use that list to prepare.
Okay. Let's take that. Tunde.
Okay. Well, from the angle of media engagement, because you've said a lot about narrative, and this is really not about OSEC. I have my fears if we will still not have the same form of apathy that we've always seen, because in the media we haven't seen so much from the politicians themselves in terms of their readiness. It seems to be just only one party that has been campaigning, maybe doing one or two rallies. But like I said, that is really not OSEC's problem. Now, let's get to some really important bits. On Saturday, what will the situation be like? Is there going to be a restriction of movement of the people and if there is, what time to what time? Number two is, what are the basic requirements for people to vote? Is this still going to be the permanent voter cards, or we have other items that one can make use of?
Thank you very much. On Saturday, the election will hold between the hours of 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. and there will not be movement between that period. And whoever that want to exercise his franchise, we have to go to the polling unit with his PVC, permanent voter's card, or the slip, the temporary one. But in case that has been lost, already the voters register has been pasted to all the polling units in all the local government for the voters, prospective voters, to go and check their name. In as much as you have your name in that register, even if you don't have your PVC or your temporary slip, if you are in possession of your driver's license, the international passport, and the NIN stuff, then you can go ahead and cast your vote. In as much as the name in that other means of identification and the name in the register tallies, then you are good to go.
And the election is just for the 33 local governments?
Yeah, strictly. That is what the Constitution says. The Constitution says we have 33 local governments in Oyo State, and we are conducting election to the 33 local governments.
So, assure people of the security of the election, and then we are done.
I'm seizing this opportunity to assure the good people of Oyo State that come Saturday, all arrangements are in a very tight. Then we are assuring them that the security will be tight. They shouldn't, fear. They should just come out. there won't be any victimization or molestation. And whatever vote that they cast is what this OCEC will count and declare. Thank you.
Coming about Tunde Adeniyi, Electoral Commissioner, Voter Education and Publicity, or your State Independent Electoral Commission. Thank you for coming to the program.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a break. When we come back after the news, we'll continue with Splash Rendezvous.
Thank you.
Splash FM 105.5.
Charles!
Yes, mommy?
Go and bring 2 sachets of hypo bleach for me.
Why 2?
Because I'm using one to soak the whites and using one to kill all the germs.
But I can't see any germs here.
They are so tiny you can't see them, but they are there. And that is why I trust only hypo bleach to kill them all.
Make your white fabrics whiter and your household free of illness causing germs and viruses with the disinfecting power of hypo bleach.
I just want flex, don't need stress in my life. Avoid the yawa, I no want queue for the bank. Sharp, sharp, I don't open an account. Digital bank, we get the power, now vote. I pay my bills easily, I'm running things like a boss. Collect a loan with no collateral. Vote is the answer. Vote is the way. Vote is the answer. From Polaris Bank. Vote is the answer. Vote is the way.
Download Volt by Polaris Bank. That's VULTE. Visit the Google Play Store or Apple Store now. Volt is available to Polaris and non-Polaris Bank customers. Volt by Polaris Bank.
And the winners for the Indomie Eat and Win promo are Mrs. Obi and Davy.
Yes, mommy, we won! We won!
Yes, we won!
David, you still haven't told me how you won. It's simple, John. With Indomie Eat and Win.
Indomie Eat and Win?
Yes! Just buy 10 Indomitables pack, find the unique code at the back of the pack, go to www.indomitables.ng and enter your code to win amazing prizes every week and a star prize of 100,000 naira.
Wow! Let me go and get my Indomie now.
Anytime malaria show, nakam shalatempo. Anytime malaria come, shalatempo. If malaria trouble you,
no let malaria comot action for your body. Nakam Shalatem wey be brand of anti-malaria wey contain Artemether and lumefantrine. Shalatem na medicine from Shalina Healthcare Nigeria. Dem get Shalatem for every age group dem. Make you remember to always use Shalatem with food. If symptoms no change after 3 days, go see your doctor.
Give me that smooth groove.
ohun rere á máa jẹ́ ti tàwọn tí ìpadàbọ̀ wọn gbóná jọjọ. Ṣé ẹ tún fẹ́ gbọ́ ohun rere á máa tẹ̀lé àwọn tí ààyè tàbí ìgbà kò dí àkókò ìdùnnú wọn lọ́wọ́ ní ìgbà kankan nítorí pé ìgbádùn ló ṣe pàtàkì ló sì ṣe kókó kì í ṣe agbègbè tí ó ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ohun rere wà fún àwọn tí ń béèrè àríyá pẹ̀lú smooth àti orin aládùn. Ní àkọ́tán, ohun rere máa ń ṣe àwárí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ alákìtiyan léyìí tí Smooth Chapman mú kí ayé wọn ládùn kó lárinrin pẹ̀lú èròjà ọ̀dọ́ Smooth Chapman aṣaralóore. Gbèrò nípa Chapman, mo smooth.
On the 29th of May, we will bring Porto to your doorstep when the royalty of English football, Chelsea, the pride of London, and Manchester City, the unstoppable citizens, light up Europe to compete for the biggest prize in club football, the Champions League final. Smart Code Africa, Mabin Dynamics, and 1960bet are in joint collaboration to make your night magical on Champions Night at MOV 21 Event Center at Dioyo, Ring Road, Ibadan for the biggest gathering of European football lovers. Come watch the game on the biggest screen with friends and color mates. Meet your favorite OAPs in the city. You stand a chance to win amazing prizes at the Champions Night. Access code is a bet slip of 1960bet. Media partner Splash FM, Lagelu FM. For more inquiries, please call 080-557-94255 or 090-286-307-5. 24/7. This event is powered by 1960bet.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ojúlówó Nasco cornflakes kún fún èròjà tí ń ṣara lóore tó dára nítorí wípé Old Flaked cornflakes náà ni. Old Flaked cornflakes ní apilẹ̀ṣe ní ìlànà tí gbogbo èròjà aṣara lóore inú rẹ̀ ò fi lè yingin. Oúnjẹ aṣara lóore ni, adùn inú rẹ̀ àfẹnuwó, ó sì dára fún gbogbo ẹbí. Nítorí náà, tí àtijẹ cornflakes bá dé, rí i dájú pé Old Flaked Nasco cornflakes ló yàn láàyò. Oúnjẹ aládùn tó dára ní gbogbo ìgbà.
Hello, Michael. We're about to start the meeting. I can't see you in the office. Where are you?
Hey, boss. I'm still at home. I have a bad headache. I know it's an important meeting, but not sure whether I can make it.
Michael, I understand. Don't worry. Take Brustan Extra. It contains ibuprofen, paracetamol, and caffeine and provides fast relief from headache. I am sure you'll feel better soon. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We must start the meeting, though Michael is not here.
Hey, look! Michael is here!
Brustan Extra really works. Brustan Extra, fast relief from headache. Available in pharmacies near you. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Brustan Extra, a quality product from Rambaxay, a Sun Pharma company.
Here is
105.5.
Accessing
105.4.
one station, all the hits.
105.5. Splash.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on the news highlight at 6 p.m. The Ondo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, has tackled the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, for faulting the ban placed on open grazing in the southern part of the country. The southern governors had, at a meeting in Asaba last week, banned open grazing and asked the President Buhari to address the nation over the increasing rate of insecurity in the country. However, Malami faulted the ban, arguing that the governor had no right to do that. Akeredolu, who is the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, spoke in a statement he personally signed today, titled, "Our decision is irreversible and will be enforced." He asked the AGF to challenge the governor's position on open grazing in court, adding that Malami's comments were unfortunate and wicked. A Cross River State Governor, Ben Ayade, has dumped the People's Democratic Party PDP for the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. Governor Ayade announced his decision today after a closed-door meeting with 6 APC governors and some members of the National Assembly who visited him at the government house. The governors who visited Ayade include Abubakar Bagudu of Kebbi State, Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, Memala Buni of Yobe State, who is also the APC caretaker chairman, Samuel Lalong of Plateau State, Mohammed Abubakar of Jigawa State, and Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State. Ayade was elected as the governor of Cross River State in 2015 under the platform of the PDP. He was re-elected in 2019 under the platform of the same political party. Ayade is the second sitting governor to have pitched his camp with the ruling APC lately. There was an explosion at the Oluwaseun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta today, leaving 2 persons feared dead. The explosion occurred around 11 a.m. at the MAC Event Center within the Presidential Library. It was gathered that a routine cleaning was being done while one of the gas cylinders in the event center exploded. An eyewitness said that some dead bodies have been taken by a rescue team that arrived at the scene shortly after the incident. And the Oyo State government has announced Friday, tomorrow, as a public holiday. The Chief Press Secretary to Governor Seyi Makinde, Mr. Taiwo Adisa, while confirming the development, said the governor approved the holiday to enable the state conduct a hitch-free local government election holding on Saturday, May 22nd, 2021. He urged every resident of Oyo State to go about their duties peacefully while coming out en masse to their respective voting areas and participate in the election. I'll take a break. I'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
I be first class truck driver.
Yes, it's Panadol Extra Caplets. Panadol Extra is now also available in a smaller pack of 4 caplets at only 50 naira. Same Panadol Extra Caplets that relieves headache, backache, muscle ache, menstrual pain, and toothache. If it's not Panadol, it's not the same thing as Panadol. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult a doctor. Panadol Extra contains paracetamol and caffeine. Not recommended in pregnancy and children under 12.
Breakfast with today's breakfast. Yummy. With Mama Doll's bread for bread. Yummy. We like its rich and buttery taste. Yummy. We love to have it with our bread. Yummy. Nutrition. Mama's bread for bread. We like it. Mama's bread for bread. Delicious. Mama's bread for bread. We love it. Mama's bread for bread.
New Mama Doll's bread for bread. It gives you the right nutrients and energy to be your best each new day. New Mama Doll's bread for bread. Deliciously nourishing for a bright start.
At Splash FM, we believe that the business of broadcasting in today's society should not only be about information dissemination, but ultimately about the quality of those who do the job. Our next agenda is to restore and consolidate the integrity of broadcasting, to train, to equip, and to mentor the next generation in the art and science of broadcasting, leveraging over a decade of excellence in the industry. Anticipate.
And the winners for the Indomie Eat and Win promo are Mrs. Obi and Davy.
Yes, Mommy, we won! We won!
Yes, we won!
David, you still haven't told me how you won. It's simple, John. With Indomie Eat and Win.
Indomie Eat and Win?
Yes! Just buy 10 Indomitables pack. Find the unique code at the back of the pack. Go to www.indomitables.ng and enter your code to win amazing prizes every week and a stock prize of 100,000 naira. Wow!
Let me go and get my Indomie now.
Àkókò ìjà tó bá ń bá rìn jù tá àti retí ń lọ kó sókàn báyìí o kì í sí ibú yẹ̀rì láàrin jù bá náà lọ. Ó mà ṣe o ẹ̀rù bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń kú bí ojú pì ẹ̀ṣẹ́ àgbáwọlé lọ́tún lọ́sí. Ó dilẹ̀ gbága yìí ó ṣubú yàkàtà ó fìdí rẹ̀ ní ìjà parí o kò sógun mọ́ kò sọ́tẹ̀ mọ́ àlùbámí ni Bosca tún borí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Gba ìtura kíá kúrò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀fọ́rí ìrora àti òtútù pẹ̀lú Bosca. Bosca ń gba ẹ̀fọ́rí ìrora àti òtútù lágbàwọlé ní kíákíá. Bí àyípadà kò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, lọ rí dókítà.
Thank you for being there with us on Splash 105.5 FM. We're still on the news highlight. Now to the foreign scene. The European Office of the World Health Organization, WHO, is warning against taking the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic too lightly in the face of declining infection rates in Europe. The number of weekly cases in the region had declined 60% within 1 month, from 1.7 million to some 685,000. The WHO Regional Director Hans Kluge said during a press conference that this progress is fragile. The WHO official emphasized that the pandemic was not over yet, and that the summer had the potential for another rise in cases due to expected increases in mobility, activities, and gatherings. Kluge also emphasized a need for remaining cautious despite the fact that vaccination rates were rising. The Australian government has opened talks with international airlines on digital vaccine passports for people who had been inoculated against COVID-19. The Australian Border Force, ABF, and the International Air Transport Association, IATA, that represented about 290 airlines have been in discussions about vaccinated Australians using the IATA Travel Pass. It came one day after Prime Minister Scott Morrison flagged the idea of a digital vaccination passport. On Thursday, he said holders of vaccination passports could be allowed to be exempt from domestic travel restrictions. And finally, sports news. West Ham manager David Moyes has urged his players to round off an impressive campaign in style by beating Southampton on Sunday to secure a Europa League spot. The Hammers, who beat relegated West Brom 3-1 on Wednesday, need a point in their final game of the season at home to ensure a sixth spot on the place in European football's second tier competition. That will be their highest finish since 1999 when they ended up in 5th spot. West Ham are 3 points better off than Tottenham and Everton have significantly inferior goal difference. That ends the 6 p.m. news highlight for today. I'm Oluwaseun Akinola. Splash Rendezvous is continuing after this timeout. Stay with us.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station.
Your station. Here is 105.5.
From the very beginning, we just saw the world differently than everyone else. Made obvious in all we do.
That didn't sit well with some people.
What's our plan?
Our plan is to keep going up and not just go up, but stay at the very top. We are your favorite radio station, Splash 105.5 FM.
Then it's up. If it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up. Then it's up.
105.5, The Splash.
Splash FM 105.5.
Thanks to you for being there with us on Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station. This time, we're going to take your calls, actually. But before we take your calls, we'll take some sundry issues. We will still do Olympotic. I mean, that's just to make sentence about it. But a question was asked yesterday. AGF was on national television, and his response has been generating a lot of discussion. He made comments about restructuring, devolution of power, and the interviewer asked him about open grazing and the ban on open grazing by the southern governors. And he said it's about constitutionality. Within the context of the freedoms enshrined in our constitution, Malawi said, "Can you deny a right of a Nigerian? It is as good as saying maybe the northern governors coming together to say that they prohibit spare parts trading in the north. Does it hold water? Does it hold water for a northern governor to come and state expressly that they now prohibit spare parts trading in the north? If you are talking of a constitutionally guaranteed right, the better approach to it is perhaps to go back and ensure that the constitution is amended. The freedom and liberty of movement, amongst others, is established by the Constitution." Tunde, that is a statement not credited. I heard it. I even hope that I can play it, before we finish this discussion. An AGF said this. How do you describe this thinking, this equation of freedom of movement and, encroaching on other people's property?
Well, I think there shouldn't even be the word if, because indeed he said it. We all saw it.
Yeah.
And even the governor of Ondo State has responded to him. For our Attorney General, the Chief Law Officer of Nigeria, to be caught drawing that kind of false equivalence, I feel really sorry for the country. Now, I don't understand, what he didn't understand in the resolutions. Nobody said in that resolution that some people are not free to move or live or work in any part of the country. No. The ban was explicit enough, and it has to do with open grazing of cattle.
not free roaming of human beings, not people leaving the north or leaving the east or leaving the south to do business wherever they choose, which is guaranteed in the Constitution. I think the Attorney General was just playing politics, and a very dangerous politics that's considering the plurality of Nigeria and how sensitive, it has been, to try to draw comparison between, something that has led to, the loss of so many lives, farmers, elders crisis, and the fact that the southern governors decided to come together based on the yearnings of their people to take a stand. And then you're bringing, very inexplicable dimensions into it by saying it's like banning people who do spare part business. People who do spare part business in the north, it is legitimate business. What is legitimate in you, grazing your cattle uncontrollably over people's properties, where, farmlands are destroyed, people get killed. And this is the exact reason why a lot of people are clamoring that we should separate the office of the Minister of Justice and that of the Attorney General of the Federation, because the minister, is an appointee of the president. Mm-hmm. He can as well be a politician as much as he wants. But you see, the office of the Attorney General of the Federation is a very sacred position. It's a very powerful position. He is supposed to be there, to interpret the law, even to the presidency, to the federal government. But then when you have somebody who deliberately would twist issues just to favor, whatever primordial consideration, I don't know what really to say about that kind of person. But I'm glad that the Southern Governors Forum has spoken through Governor Rotimi Akeredolu that this has come to stay.
And Akeredolu said he should challenge in court.
Yes, because he's the chief law officer of Nigeria. He's not the law.
So he should go to court.
So he should go to court. All the states who signed up for that resolution should get their legislature to, pass the law. Pass that ban into the law. There is nothing that the General Federation can do about it.
Okay, now here is the law officer.
Expressed in our constitution, enshrined in our constitution. Can you deny a right of a Nigerian? For example, it's as good as saying, perhaps maybe the northern governors coming together to say that they prohibit spare parts trading in the north. Does it hold water? Does it hold water for a northern governor to come and state expressly that he now prohibits spare parts trading in the north?
But when the governors came together and said, this is a problem that we've seen, and this is a solution, and they felt, look, the solution will be stop the open grazing across the land, stop the transportation by foot of cattle.
If you are talking of a constitutionally guaranteed right, the better approach to it is to, perhaps, you have spoken earlier about the constitutional amendment, is to go back to ensure the Constitution is amended. The Constitution, freedom and liberty of movement, among others, is established by the Constitution. If by an inch you want to have any compromise over it, the better approach is to go back to the National Assembly. Open grazing should be put.
Michael, your response?
Well, Tunde has said everything, but me now, the way I want to say it is that, you see, I am not surprised that, Africans, particularly Nigerians, have to be compelled to write TOEFL, IELTS, and the rest of it. Obviously, that man, we need to look at the WAEC result of that man. I am not sure whether he had, very good grades in English language. He had a problem with comprehension, really.
He said he doesn't even understand. When the interviewer asked him about restructuring, he said, I don't understand what you mean by restructuring.
It's very correct. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't. You see, the fact that you went to law school and you were called to the bar and you are fortunate to be
senior advocate of Nigeria.
I agree with you that he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. You see, I want to quote to you what Rajero said in Wole Soyinka's Jero's place. He said there are X and there are X, just as there are prophets. So that settles the matter of senior advocate of Nigeria. But the point is this: the man demonstrated that he didn't understand the prevailing national atmosphere. That's the point. if you indeed understood the prevailing national atmosphere, you will not be talking like that. Tunde was talking about people, pushing primordial sentiments. Basically, that was it. He maybe he pretended that he didn't understand. I want to assume, for the benefit of, give him the benefit of the doubt, that he did not hear the question. Or maybe...
is it that when the governors of Southwest also came up with the idea of Amotekun, which he kicked against,
he didn't understand it.
He asked them to go and make a law about it, and they did, actually.
So which law is it asking for? When the fact is that if states can make laws, as long as these laws do not contradict the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, and they are not saying that people cannot move. They're only saying that you cannot move cattle about everywhere, cattle that would destroy people's farms. And it was that comparison, Tunde has expressed in perfect ways. That comparison is very, very unholy. How can you be saying spare parts and people movement? People who sell spare parts wherever in Nigeria, even if it's in the north or in the south or in the east or in the west, how many people have they killed by conducting of their own trade of spare parts selling? Compared to how many people those who are carrying cattle about have killed, how many farmlands they have destroyed, how many people they have displaced from their homes.
I was even wondering if he understood the property law.
It doesn't understand it.
Okay,
it doesn't understand it. And it's so unfortunate that the chief legal advisor of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was talking like that. It's so unfortunate.
Okay, I'm moving on from there. I don't want to go more about that. But did you see that amendment to the Terrorism Act that is being proposed, the Section 14?
Yes.
That is being proposed.
Senator
from the Southeast. I will read a part of it. I want you to make your comment on that as well. Okay, so I think I have it here. Yes. Anyone who transfers funds, makes payment, or colludes with an abductor, kidnapper, or terrorist to receive any ransom for the release of any person who has been wrongfully confined, imprisoned, or kidnapped is guilty of a felony and is liable on conviction to a term of imprisonment of not less than 15 years. That's Senator Ezenwa Francis Onyewuchi's thought about amending, I think, Section 14 of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Bill 2021. Tunde?
Okay, so for those in government who have been elected or appointed or recruited to prevent kidnapping from happening, what should be their punishment? That's the question.
Maybe the people should push a bill for that. I'm wondering.
I don't know what else. You see, the thing is, the National Assembly, they earn humongous salaries and allowances to the point that they've lost touch with the reality in Nigeria. I think we pay them too much. That, for me, is the problem. Because when you check these guys, it's not like they're illiterate. No. There are so the vast majority of them are educated.
And too comfortable.
Quote and unquote. But then we pay them so much for doing so little. They go on recess for 2 months, they still get paid. Every little thing, they declare break as they wish. So they've lost touch with reality. So in a bid to not look as if they're not doing anything, they come up with very unreasonable laws. We know what we need. We know what ails us in this country. Yet somebody, a senator, and I'm sure they will add distinguished before his name, stood up on the red chamber, the senior chamber of the National Assembly, to come up with, that kind of obnoxious amendments. Well, it has been referred to the Committee on Ethics, Human Rights and Privileges. I hope they are going to throw it out. In any case, I don't see it, seeing the light of day, because it doesn't make any sense.
Michael, what do you see?
So his bill, I want to just play on some assumptions. His bill seems to assume that anyone who pays ransom is colluding with the abductor. So it simply means that if you are paying ransom, you are also a criminal. That's the assumption behind, that's the assumption behind the drafting of this amendment bill.
Victim blame.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're blaming the victim.
So it's basically saying that you are stupid for allowing your family members to be kidnapped, and therefore you are paying for your stupidity by going to prison if you pay to get your relative released. That's the explanation that I can give to it. And you see, the senator fails to understand the context of kidnapping itself. He fails to understand that the kidnapping thrives when there is laxity in security and policing of the state. Why don't they amend the police law and the military law and the rest of it to say that if anyone is kidnapped in your precinct or in your local government, the DPO will be sanctioned? Why don't they make that law?
Sorry, I listened to his presentation on the National Assembly. You know, he made reference to the United Kingdom, UK, and the USA, which is what our people do often when they want to cherry pick, what suits whatever narrative they want to pick. But it would be interesting to ask him if indeed, kidnapping on an industrial scale, the way we're witnessing, happens in those places where, you can freely just storm a school
and take
250
and yes,
do it today, in 2 weeks' time, go to another place.
And then trek 200 kilometers with them undetected, right? So they are mentioning US, UK, and the rest of where you have camera everywhere. Even in the US, you see people who say that they kill people every day. There's gun violence in US everywhere. How many times has any shooter in the US escaped for 24 hours? How many times? If it's reported if it's reported today that somebody went to a school in US and shot 10 people, be very sure that in 1 or 2 hours, they already know him. They already know his house. They already know his the number of cars he owns. They already know his family member. They already know everybody. In fact, they most likely have arrested him, or maybe he has killed himself in the attempt to exchange gunfire with security operatives. People don't look at these things.
It reminds me of a particular terrorist of British nationality. They gave him a name in the media then, Jihadi John. He joined ISIS.
Yes.
And it was shown on several videos, killing people. The beauty of technology is just out of this world. Even though his face was always covered because he wore a mask, yet they managed to scan through, profile him, and they were able to get his real identity. And they killed him. Eventually, they killed him somewhere in Iraq. Of course, there were other casualties, but they killed him. Here in Nigeria, somebody that is known to everybody led thugs into the chambers of the National Assembly. They stole the mace. Until today, nobody has been punished.
And that case died just like that.
Natural death. So we should ask the senator to, tell us whether he understands what he's doing. And just like Tunde said, you see, when you earn too much money as salary every month, when you are
doing so little,
you become lazy, including in the head.
We're on Facebook Live if you want to join us and make comments. Eladia Festus Olukunle, thank you for joining us. Bayo Adegoke, thank you also for joining us right here on the program. We'd like to hear you, make comments that we can read. So go to Facebook fan page, Splash FM, and also you could share it to your network and let everybody be able to be part of this conversation. Thank you for being there. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we also want to hear from you this evening. We have two more issues briefly, and then we want to hear from you. Stay with us, don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
Give me that smooth groove.
Ohun rere á máa jẹ́ ti tàwọn tí ìpadàbọ̀ wọn gbóná jọjọ. Ṣé ẹ tún fẹ́ gbọ́ ohun rere á máa tẹ̀lé àwọn tí àyè tàbí ìgbà kò dí àkókò ìdùnnú wọn lọ́wọ́ ní ìgbà kankan, nítorí pé ìgbádùn ló ṣe pàtàkì ló sì ṣe kókó, kì í ṣe agbègbè tí ó ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ohun rere wà fún àwọn tí ń béèrè àríyá pẹ̀lú smooth àti orin aládùn. Ní àkọ́tán, ohun rere máa ń ṣe àwárí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ alákìtiyan léyìí tí Smooth Chapman mú kí ayé wọn ládùn kó lárinrin pẹ̀lú èròjà ọ̀dọ́ Smooth Chapman aṣaralóore. Gbèrò nípa Chapman, mo smooth.
Anytime malaria show, Nakam Shalatem.
Má ṣe gba ibà láyè lára rẹ o. Tètè kojú rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Shalatem. Shalatem jẹ́ ojúlówó oògùn ibà tí a fi artemether àti lumefantrine ṣe láti ọwọ́ Shalina Healthcare ní ilẹ̀ tiwantiwa Nàìjíríà. Shalatem wà fún ọmọdé, ó sì wà fún àgbàlagbà. Pàápàá jùlọ, ó wà fún gbogbo ọjọ́ orí. Wàyé o, rántí láti lo Shalatem pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ. Tí àlàáfíà ò bá wá dé bá ara rẹ lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta, tètè kó yá lọ rí dókítà.
Next time you're shopping for quality margarine, choose the one that's perfect for so many types of meals and has great value too. Choose Devon King's Margarine. Devon King's Margarine is available in stores and retail outlets near you. Choose unbeatable value. Choose Devon King's Margarine.
When woman become mama, e get another level where she dey take the city. So mama sabi when we get like pain dey knock for door. Mama no send o. She carry M&B paracetamol tablet wey dey kick pain with alacrity. The red one or the syrup wey get pineapple taste take sama aches and pains comot for her family. Mama dem wey wise up trust me and Becca past 70 years when e don dey take care of people body. Abeg make you give aches and pains red card with M&B paracetamol. If wetin dey do you no vamoose after 3 days, abeg go see your doctor o. M&B paracetamol. Pain no fit stop you.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ojúlówó Nasco cornflakes kún fún èròjà tí ń ṣara lóore tó dára nítorí wípé Old Flaked cornflakes náà ni. Old Flaked cornflakes ní apilẹ̀ṣe ní ìlànà tí gbogbo èròjà ṣara lóore inú rẹ̀ ò fi lè yingin. Oúnjẹ aṣara lóore ni, adùn inú rẹ̀ àfẹnuwó, ó sì dára fún gbogbo ẹbí. Nítorí náà, tí àtijẹ cornflakes bá dé, rí i dájú pé Old Flaked Nasco cornflakes ló yàn láàyò. Oúnjẹ aládùn tó dára ní gbogbo ìgbà.
Since I switched to Mamado 100% pure cooking oil, family meal times have been so rewarding. You see, Mamado 100% pure cooking oil is cholesterol-free and contains omega-6 and 9, proven to keep heart healthy. Not only that, it also makes my food taste delicious.
You sure know how to take care of my stomach.
And your heart, especially. Switch to Mamado and enjoy healthy and tasty meals. Mamado is tested and approved by the Nigerian Heart Foundation. Cook with Mamado. Your heart will thank you.
I just want flex, don't need stress in my life. Avoid the yawa, I no want queue for the bank. Sharp, sharp, I don't open an account. Digital bank, we get the power, now vault. I pay my bills easily, I'm running things like a boss. Collect a loan with no collateral. Vault is the answer. Vault is the way. Vault is the answer. From Polaris Bank, yeah. Vault is the answer. Vault is the way.
Download Vault by Polaris Bank. That's VULTE. Visit the Google Play Store or Apple Store now. Vault is available to Polaris and non-Polaris Bank customers. Vault by Polaris Bank.
And the winners for the Indomie Eat and Win promo are Mrs. Obi and Davy.
Yes, Mommy, we won! We won!
Yes, we won!
David, you still haven't told me how you won. It's simple, John, with Indomie Eat and Win.
Indomie Eat and Win?
Yes! Just buy 10 Indomitables pack, find the unique code at the back of the pack, go to www.indomitables.ng and enter your code to win amazing prizes every week and a stock prize of 100,000 Naira.
Wow! Let me go and get my Indomie now.
My people, better don land. Make una come see ogbonge cable wey dem manufacture for we obodo Nigeria. Na PureChem cables. PureChem cables na correct electrical cable wey dey reliable, dependable, and the people wey dem make am call dey safety conscious. PureChem cables get original copper and aluminium cable for different sizes dem wey you fit use for electrical wiring level for anywhere. Whether na your house, abi na your office, the price nko, e no dey tear pocket at all. Nationwide distribution don start. For more information, call 0808 030 3257. 0808 030 3257. Pure Cable and Wire Limited. They have print compound, 4th gate, 122/132. Oshodi Apapa Expressway, Iyano Solo Bus Stop, Lagos. Pure Cables, Nigerian Electrical Contractors endorser, SON approver. Pure Cables, na Ubiko.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, Panadol Extra náà ni Panadol Extra. Ó tún ti ń bẹ báyìí nínú ìdí kékeré oníkápẹ́lẹ̀tì mẹ́rin láàdọ́ta náírà péré. Panadol Extra kẹ́nẹ́ ni Panadol Extra mú tura bẹ́ fọ́rí, ìrora ẹ̀yìn, ìrora oríkèé, ìrora nǹkan oṣù àti ìrora eyín. Tí ìbá ṣe Panadol, kò lè jẹ́ bí Panadol. Tá ìpadà ò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ méjì, lọ rí dókítà. Panadol Extra ní paracetamol àti caffeine nínú, kò sí fáláboyún àtàwọn ọmọdé tọ́jú orí wọn kéré sọ́dún 12.
We've been trying to source funding to make sure we're able to quickly respond to the emergency.
Nigeria's economic situation is dire, with headline inflation at 18.17%. Government says it is doing everything it can to better the lives of Nigerians. However, many more continue to fall below the poverty line. This week on Economic Searchlight, join Oluwaseun Akinola as he engages the British Deputy High Commissioner, Mr. Ben Llewellyn-Jones, on issues relating to poverty reduction, economic growth, human rights, and building back better from COVID-19. This Friday, May 21st, 2021 at 11 a.m. exclusive on Splash 105.5 FM. You don't want to miss this.
Splash FM 105.5.
Great to have you there. Bidemi Omolola is on Facebook. He said, until Nigerians learn that politics is to be separated from ethics and religion, we will continue having mediocre at the helms of affairs. Because I don't know how on earth a son will be comparing grazing and spare parts. Does selling spare parts pose any threats on the people as open grazing doors? My fear is that these politicians will intentionally ease people's suffering next year, and some people will still be fooled for the next 4 years. Bidemi Mola on Facebook, thank you. You also can make your comment on Facebook. I will be willing to read your comment on Facebook. We are on 105.5 Splash FM 1055 on Facebook. Join us there live and make your comment. I will appreciate your comment there. You can also press the share button. Thank you for being there. All right, so we'll go to two other issues quickly. Ben Ayade had moved to the APC. I, for once, I've always been thinking that Ben Ayade was PDP by the face, but in his heart, it was APC. He'd been romancing President Buhari from the beginning of his governance in Cross River State. Today, some people have said that it's conspiratory, actually. They said that this is preparing ground for those who will be working for the South in the APC for presidency 2023.
Well, only Professor Ben Ayade, the governor of Cross River, can really tell us
exactly why.
What the actual motivation is. Of course, he released a statement saying that he felt that, I think it was more inclined into progressive politics of President Muhammadu Buhari.
After how many years?
Well, he's been in PDP all his life. That's at least his political life that we know. So there are a lot of things that one can run permutations on, but all along you've been talking about Olimpotic. He's a very colorful character. In 2015, he called his budget, his very first budget, as governor budget of transition. In 2016, a budget of deep vision. Then in 2017, budget of infinite transposition. I think that was when it began to
move.
And then in 2018, budget of kinetic crystallization.
Movement.
2019,
we move.
Kabbalistic densification.
Still movement.
2020, Olympotic meristemasis. And then in 2020, it turned it down. Budget of blush and bliss.
Wow.
So it will be interesting to see, what Professor Ben Ayade serves up in 2022 and 2023. But the interesting part is that some of this move cannot be, disconnected from presidential aspirations of some, second-term governors, and we have a whole lot of them. Especially, there seems to be this growing consensus in the APC that the presidency should, come down south. Yeah, the presidential ticket from the APC. The body language of the party leadership seems to be pointing in that direction. So it definitely will be understandable for some of these second-term governors to be looking in that direction. But I have serious concerns about how our politicians decamp so easily. Because yes, you may think you're the flag bearer, but the point is the people voted for the party. On the ballot paper, what you had on election day was the logo of the party. Not your name, not your family name. So you should show some kind of respect to the people who voted for you. Okay, before now, the trick that our politicians play around is the claim of party division. But what party division is there in Cross River State as we speak? So it means you can just feel like it is selfish, it is self-centered. This is not about a PDP person moving from PDP to APC. It's been that way with all of them. APC to PDP, PDP to APC.
Autumn did it.
Yes, from APC to PDP.
To PDP, yes. We saw it.
And they welcomed with both arms the same way Meme Labuni has actually welcomed Professor Ben Ayade. It is outrightly disrespectful.
Gordon Obaseki did the same.
Yes,
just on the nick of the election.
I think in the next round of amendments that we're going to be doing, we should look at that.
Today we want to do amendments. You want to do amendments?
The National Assembly has promised us amendments. Soon we're going to be having hearings.
They're on it. I mean, just even this week we had the same president.
It's just morally wrong.
I like your optimism.
So Michael, what do you say to this quickly before we move?
Yes, what I would just say is, Tunde has said it. I just wanted to say that I laughed when Tunde said that the amendment to cover that kind of thing. The political class knows how to take care of itself. So I will not be surprised if everybody moves to the ruling party. Usually in Nigeria, you think that the ruling party is the ultimate. So everybody wants to be where the action is, where they are sharing something, where the appointments are circulating and the rest of it. Just like he said, this may not be unconnected with the 2023, presidential targets of people from the South. So everybody is trying to see if we could, get something from the center as well.
Anywhere but
that's it. So I'm not surprised that people are moving from one party to the other. I'm not.
Okay. Closing. May 14, Abidemi Rufai, a Nigerian politician, was arrested at JFK Airport, New York, over a scheme to steal more than $350,000 unemployment benefit fund from the Washington State Employment Security Department. Why do we keep getting this kind of personalities from our country, displaying this deep desire,
vulture tendencies?
Yes,
like to say.
To take money from people. Over 1,000 unemployed personalities, their identities stolen.
Yes, because we have monetized everything, including electioneering. We have monetized everything.
So everything for us is money.
It is money, unfortunately. It's about money. And if you don't have money, who are you? So people try every means to make the money. And you see, if you are trying to make the money the straight way, you will be very, you'll be on a very long journey to get the kind of money that will pay for, maybe he contested to go to the House of Representatives, I think, in 2019.
Ijebu Central.
Yeah. So you imagine how much he paid for
So
the
he would have
nomination
ended
form.
up in the House of
So he
Reps
would have
as
ended
one
up
of our lawmakers.
as one of our
Yeah.
lawmakers, and so it would have been,
Sorry, figures. It's called Sandy Tang.
Yeah.
He stole identities of over 100 Washington residents to file benefit claims using different variations of a single email account.
Benefit boys.
Yeah.
So it trended, a lot last year.
So you understand this. So it is because we have monetized everything. Even in religious circles, we have monetized blessing. You cannot be blessed, if you don't bring something for the man of God or for God. Quote and unquote.
Today, why don't we ask questions about the source of people's wealth? Why? We don't query it. Well, it's called breakthrough.
Yes, because we used to do that a long time ago, but our value system has been so bastardized that, what we have right now is that the end, when it comes to financial success, justifies the means. Just make it at all costs. We want miracles. I think it's a function of the way our psyche has been changed over time. That look, Yorubas will say this is Isheke Kiriwunla. Sometimes you're walking across the road and you're dreaming in your head that maybe there's going to be a bag of dollars somewhere
just pick it
left behind
and look around. There's nobody, and then you just walk away with it.
And that your story will change.
Breakthrough.
It's really sad and unfortunate. And we need to do something about it. One is that we need to start to change our values. You see, for some generations, I'm sorry, we have lost. But for the younger ones coming through the system, we need to instill it in their psyche that, look, money is not everything. Yes, money is good. It guarantees you, some of the good things of life that you can buy. But when you earn it, it's even more enjoyable that way.
Okay, 0809-155-1055, 0805-699-8678, 0706-949-3000. We take a few calls, as much as we can take, maybe 3-4 calls we take. But Tunde, public holiday tomorrow, is it necessary?
Yeah. It came very late in the day.
Yes.
Some maybe 3-4 hours ago. There's a conspiracy theory around this public holiday. Some people, especially the political conspiracy theorists, have said, okay, the state government, had to do that to prevent, the old APC brouhaha of going to court and maybe trying to get injunction against Saturday's.
Court will not sit tomorrow.
There's holiday now. Everybody should be at home. So, well, I don't know. What the government has said is that we should, stay back home tomorrow to prepare ourselves for the election on Saturday.
Prepare for what? Buy new clothes or what?
Big, powerful elections coming up on Saturday.
It's indeed big and powerful, really, if you consider the fact that local government is big deal. As we've been talking, so the government may well be justified to say people should.
Easily see your tongue.
People want to travel now. You want to go from
Ibadan to Hussein to Shaki,
so
and
you
the
need
rest
time.
of it.
All right. And there will be movement restrictions.
0809-155-1055, 0805-699-8678, and 0706-949-3000. We'd like to hear from you this evening. If you're there, hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, this is Oluwaseun from Ibadan.
Welcome.
Yeah, I can listen to you quite all right concerning all you have been saying. You see, this country nowadays, we worship money. If you don't have money, nobody recognizes you. That is why you can see everybody goes about issue of money, all means, and that is why the attitude of me, myself is so constant. Number two, the issue of Ayade. To me personally, I don't see anything bad in it. He believes in Buhari, and he can see some work which the man has done. And he believes for 16 years of his party, nothing was done. So if he goes with the party of the man, I don't think there's anything wrong. The man that's always doing well in his own state as well. If you go to his state, you will see changes. So to go with the better party, there is nothing wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Tunde just reminded me now. I guess, isn't that the state where magistrates were on the street?
Yes, the same Cross River state, where magistrates, went out on the streets with placards.
Something we've never seen before.
Yes.
Let's see. Hello, good evening. Hello, if you're there, that's not a very good sound to hear on radio. We'd like to take maybe one more, and then we're done here. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Okay, we have to go. Almost 10 minutes to 7. Michael, your last shot.
As I always say, I just think that the people need to be more awake and alert to their responsibilities as people. One, we need to be responsible in the area of our obligation to government, pay your taxes, and then two, be responsible in your area of demand for accountability. Pay your taxes, but ask for accountability.
Tunde.
Well, for Governor Nasir El-Rufai, I think as a leader, one of the things that you should arm yourself with as quality is to de-escalate situation and not always escalate, which seems to be, his own modus operandi. It's not always going to work. Well, the good thing is that the federal government has intervened. The strike has been suspended, at least to show respect to federal government intervention. But the fact that, it seems to always escalate situations, out of control, I'm uncomfortable with that as a leader, especially for somebody who is, ambitious of higher positions.
Oh, well, so we have to close at this time. There's this report that Shekau is dead. ISWAP reported that, and people.
It's good if indeed
he's dead.
He has finally died.
I was thinking that we need the DNA,
but
to be sure.
If the story around, because the report is that he killed himself because there was a gunfire, which made it imminent that he was going to be caught. Now, my fear is that I hope ISWAP is not taking the place of Boko Haram. And I hope too that in Sambisa, because that is even a more dangerous terrorist
organization. And I hope too that we are not going to be jumping from frying pan to fire, because it looks like a lot of people think that the death of Shekau signals the death of this insurgency.
I don't think so.
But it's always a good thing to kill the arrowhead of any terrorist organization.
That's it on the program today. That's our offering. My name is Oluwaseun of Akinola. We have a nation to rescue. May this nation survive. Good evening.
Splash FM 105.5.
And the winners for the Indomie Eat and Win promo are Mrs. Obi and Davy.
Yes, Mommy, we won! We won!
Yes, we won!
David, you still haven't told me how you won. It's simple, John. With Indomie Eat and Win.
Indomie Eat and Win?
Yes! Just buy 10 Indomitables pack, find the unique code at the back of the pack, go to www.indomitables.ng and enter your code to win amazing prizes every week and a stock prize of 100,000 Naira.
Wow! Let me go and get my Indomie now.
Anytime malaria show, nakam shalatemmo. Anytime malaria come, shalatu shalatemmo. If malaria trouble you, don't let malaria